Big announcement today. I finally got my teacher's plate. Yay! I'm officially a licensed kimono teacher in Japan right now. I put this on my Instagram and I got lots of messages about how to become a kimono teacher in Japan. What is it like? What's the process of it? How long does it take? How much does it cost? And today I'm gonna reveal all of it, plus some recommendations about how you can become a kimono teacher. So stick with me until the end. Yes, after 4 years of studying, I finally got this little baby. In my school, we have a system that we have 3 levels to pass until you get the half teacher's license, which is the last big test you have to pass. And after that, you have to help out your teacher's classes for a year, and then you get this little plate and you put it into the entrance or before the entrance of your house, and this tells, yeah, I have a certificate. But well, to become a kimono teacher in Japan, you actually don't really need this. And this is actually because the history of kimono. You know that kimono was casual everyday wear in Japan until the 1940s, and after the war people had no money to buy new kimonos and they started to wear Western clothes. To be honest, Western clothes are more convenient for normal life, they're cheaper and they're more comfy. So people started to get away from kimono. So there's a big problem because kimono was actually reserved in the families. So everybody was told by their own families how to wear a kimono, how to sew a kimono, how to clean a kimono. And there was actually no need for jobs like this. So there was no need for kimono tailors, there was no need for kimono cleaners and stuff like that. They only had kimono stores who sell the cloths. They bring the cloths at home and you sew your kimono to your size by yourself because you can do it. But after the war, more and more people started to forget this because they were not used to do this in daily life. That was the time when kimono schools started to be founded. I'm not super kuwashi. I don't know too much stuff about kimono schools and academies in Japan. I don't know all of them. Maybe the oldest one I heard about was founded 60 years ago, or 50 years. So they're really not old. And I think the government did a big mistake by not having a national exam for being a kimono teacher, because now we have like thousands and hundreds of different schools who teach their way to dress a kimono. And kimono exams are always like inside of that school, so these exams tend to be pretty different. Some of them, they also include like a lot of knowledge about kimono, some of them don't. So there's nothing like you can compare yourself to another teacher. So actually when you want to be a kimono teacher, you can say you're a kimono teacher because you kind of can wear a kimono and you're a kimono teacher. I anyway wanted to have a certificate because I think such kimono schools are pretty innovative. My kimono school has a specialty for speed dressing and blind kimono dressing. So you dress your kimono without looking into the mirror in less than 6 minutes. And I think this is pretty cool. There are also kimono schools for tying your otaiko on the front and then turning it around. And there are also schools that think, hey, we have such a lot of innovative stuff right now. Let's go back to its roots. So let's have a real traditional kitsuke only with the ties, with himo, and we only use 3 of them. So you can see there are a lot of kimono schools. All of them have their specialties, and I think this is very interesting. So you can choose a school you like because you like the way they dress their kimono, and then you just learn it and master it and get a certificate, and then you can teach inside of the school system. And this is also the one big disadvantage. You have to follow the rules of your school. You have to be inside of that system. And this is actually also causing me a lot of problems. You have to stay inside of the school. You have to teach after their rules. There are also schools that want you to pay some % of the income of your lessons to that school. There are schools you have to register all of your students for that school. Some schools force you to make your lessons free, and instead of that you have to sell super expensive kimonos. I think that's kind of weird. I don't want to sell kimonos because I'm not a kimono store. It's okay when I sell items to wear a kimono, but I'm not a kimono store. I don't sell kimonos. I sell how to wear a kimono. So without even mentioning the rules of my school, I just don't like that kind of way how people want me to sell my stuff. The duration of taking such a certificate in my school, it actually depends on the teacher. I think the main school, like the home office kind of my school, is in Osaka, and I think they do it in less than 3 years to go until the total end, because in my school Kimono Teacher isn't the end. The last thing is a special kimono stylist. Yes, and also makeup. They also do makeup and hair, I guess. That's pretty cool. There are not many schools that do kimono makeup and hair as well. In my school here in Kumamoto, we take our time, so I think it takes up to 6 years. So it took me 4 years to take my certificate, and now I think to get a special stylist I have to take another 2 years. Yes, but my school is not that expensive. That's another disadvantage of kimono schools. They can be pretty expensive. My school is not that expensive from what I heard, but there are really expensive schools. When you talk about the process, how to become a kimono teacher, that also depends on the school. Easy answer, right? There are schools with tests. My school also has tests. There are schools that don't have tests, and most of the time your teacher says, hey, you already did this and that, and hey, you're in our school for this and that long, so why don't you take this test, or why don't you try to do this grade, kind of. So that's actually up to your teacher how long it actually takes. I think it's up to your teacher, and finally up to you, how much effort do you want to put in this? Do you want to do this really professional, or is it just a hobby for you? To sum up, kimono schools are innovative and new. They bring always fresh wind into the kimono world, and I think they're one of the reasons why kimono has survived that long. And I think there are a lot of cool schools out there with a pretty cool way to wear a kimono, and that's actually why people think, oh yeah, I want to wear kimono again because it's cool, and maybe because it's easy or it's more comfortable like they thought it would be. Anyway, I really think that kimono schools should be more cooperative, especially with each other. My recommendation for you to become a kimono teacher is, first of all, check out all schools you can find, and maybe have a trial lesson there. They always have trial lessons very cheap, and in those trial lessons they show their real specialty, what you're going to do in these few years and how you're gonna become. And last big announcement for all guys out there in Japan, over the whole world, on my homepage you can book my Skype lessons online. You can choose a date and then let's meet on Skype. So see you in the next tutorial. I swear the next video is definitely a tutorial. Look forward to it. Feel free to comment, leave a thumb up and subscribe. So let's meet in the next video. Bye!